G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing in the colour blue as the Abbasid dynasty, it is going to be Hut, who hails from Australia. Of course, you guys will know he is a fellow Australian and he's a good friend of mine, so I'm kind of rooting for him. But on the other side, spawning in the north of the map, in the colour red, playing as the Chinese, it is Leenock. And I gotta say, you guys, I mean, I'm probably rooting for Leenock just as much, you know what, even more than I am for Hut. Not only is he playing the Chinese, but it's a Leenock. And you guys know I love Leenock. He's an absolute amazing guy. And he's been around in the RTS scene for a long time. I used to watch this guy back in 2011, I think it was, that I first, or maybe even 2010 was when I first started watching him. But yeah, this is incredible stuff because we are on Boulder Bay. And you can see that it has been changed quite a bit in the brand new patch. So this is, of course, the new patch that we are on, and we are casting for Golden League right now. So for any of you guys unfamiliar with Golden League is the $125,000 Age of Empires 4 tournament. I would encourage you guys to come check it out. It should be on Twitch right now. It might have just finished by the time you guys are watching this video. But look, even if that's the case, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at 15 GMT, it'll be there. It'll be live. So I want you guys to come out, come say good day, all that good stuff, because, you know, it's good fun. It's good fun. It's live. Everybody's there. We don't know what's going to happen. But let's talk a little bit about this round and exactly what is happening here. So this is the off-meta combat round. So basically what players do is they take all of the 8 civilizations at the moment and they voted on what they thought was the best civilization on what map. So as an example, on this map, people said, oh, well, the Rus is number 1, and a lot of people agreed with that, but there were also other civilizations like the French that people thought were number 2, and then the Holy Roman Empire, which were number 3. And so that left 5 civilizations, and as a result we see players picking Chinese up towards the north and obviously Abbasid down towards the south. So, you know, on a land map the Abbasid might be considered strong, but what about on a water map? Are they considered strong there? Who knows? Let's find out. Now, they've received a huge amount of buffs in the recent patch. One of the big buffs has been the Zebek. So I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Actually, is it the Zebek? It is this guy? No, it's the Bakla. This is the Zebek down here. The Bakla has been buffed up a huge amount. So this guy is it's attacking, doing more damage and firing less often. So the damage per second is probably the same against a target with 0 armor, but against a target with higher armor, it's going to be helping out a lot more these recent buffs. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this game exactly unfolds because we're back. Boulder Bay is back, baby. Boulder Bay is back, baby. Isn't it just a beautiful map? And I think the reason why I'm so excited for this map is because, first and foremost, we don't have a mirror. Normally on this map, you would have players mirroring each other with a Rus mirror. Second of all, or a French mirror. There was a time when players were doing the French mirror. Second of all, if there's a map that actually doesn't really, like, obviously the water is of significant importance. If you lose the water, it's probably the game. But by the same token, it's not guaranteed to be over. Let's say hypothetically that you lose the water. Let's say that Leenock manages to take water control away from the Abbasid dynasty player Hut. Okay, what's the consequence of that? Obviously, Hut can no longer be on the water, so he can't gather in fish. But by the same token, Leenock is then able to dock up this entire side over here. He's able to fish out all of these fish in the middle. Sure, sounds good, right? Well, he can also trade out to the coastal trade post, which is very, very effective. But keep in mind that behind that, there's no reason why we wouldn't have Hut going for 130 villages. 130 villages with the economic wing, he would be very happy to do that. And as long as he can delay his enemy so that he's actually able to get a second or even a third town center down, then it's not going to be a difficult spot for him. So that would be my argument. I would say that with the way that Boulder Bay is at the moment, and obviously the fishing nerfs that have come through, that it's not terrible. It's not terrible. But now we see him aging up, going up with the economic wing. No surprise there. A lot of villagers moving over to gold. This to me indicates we may have a fast castle on our hands. But by the same token, it is Hut, so who knows? So he could be going fast castle into Bakla. I think that could be a pretty smart move. He is actually going to be dropping down a dock, though. This is interesting. So it could actually just be going for a standard Age 2 play. Dow only costing 90 gold. So this is interesting to see. Are we going to have a wheelbarrow coming out of him? Indeed, there's a mill coming up. So he could be going for, maybe this is a build order he would have prepared. I know Hart, he loves to prepare his build orders. So that is a lot of villagers on gold. So probably going to be seeing wheelbarrow come out, and then also you're going to be seeing, maybe even, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a double edge, a double broadaxe coming out from Hart here, as well as fresh foodstuffs. So that's why he's got so many villagers on gold here. He's really thinking about the tech. The thing that sort of gave away that he probably wasn't going for a fast castle in this situation was the fact he's got so many villagers still on wood. But we'll take a look now over at Lennox's base, because he is up. Imperial Academy has gone down just outside the town center, and he is going to be looking to take control of the water, because we do indeed see a junk coming out. Second junk already making its way out. 8 villagers here on, or 8 villagers there on food. That is all the villagers that he's got access to, or all the food that he's got at the moment. Everybody else is on food, on gold, or sorry, on wood and gold. And now another lumber camp going to be getting placed down here. And a great spot for the Imperial Academy. This is going to be extending up the entire forest here for this position. Now needs to move the Imperial official down. Also needs to delete this lumber camp, because sometimes the villagers will prioritize this lumber camp over the second one that has been built. So always something to watch out. But he did move down that IO. Now keep in mind, he is getting an extra 20% resources off this. Not getting that double broadaxe just yet, but junk's moving out. We can see Hut has just reached the feudal age now. And Hut going to be under pressure, because he's going to be losing out these fishing boats if he's not careful. You can see he's taking a fair bit of damage out here. Both of these junks are going to be looking to fire down upon Hut's fishing boats, and he brings them back individually. He's going to probably just manages to keep that one alive. Second one going to be brought back here as well. You can see the scout here as well doing some damage, and villager going to be picking up a couple of gimmies here. Oh, I thought he got that one off for a second. So the second dock is going to be coming up. Going to be able to keep his fishing boats nice and safe. Keep in mind, they do heal up while they are inside the fishing boats, or while they are inside the dock. And now the Dow comes out. Take a look at the stat difference between these two. 2 armor, 8 attack. 4 armor, 10 attack. But this has got 4 burst attacks, whereas the Chinese ship has got 4 burst attacks as well, actually. So this bad boy is doing a lot of damage. I feel like the Dow is very good, but keep in mind, the junk has got 650 health, the Dow only 500, but there is an upgrade to get an extra 100 health. So the Dow's, judging from those stats, you would have to say are much better. They've got an extra 2 armor, so they're only going to be taking, they'll only be taking 4 damage per shot against this, whereas the junks are going to be taking 8 damage a shot from the Dows. So you would definitely say the Dow advantage is quite significant. Fishing boat does manage to stay alive. Third Dow now going to be coming out hot behind this. We'll take a look at how he manages to hold, but it looks like he's going to be able to hold very, very nicely here. So Dow's doing a great job, and I think he probably wanted this matchup. When you see those numbers, when you see those stats, that comparison, this is part of the reasoning, at least for me, like why I think asymmetric water fighting, at least in the feudal age, can be very difficult to justify. Just simply because the water is so important that if you were to give it to one civilization, then it just becomes mandatory. So the way my thinking is obviously if you've got a very strong if you've got a very strong mechanic, which is water, and then you have a civilization that's very optimal for that mechanic, which it would be, you know, the Rus, which is why we saw them banned out by every single player, the French also, and at least that was on the last patch. On the new patch, who knows? Who knows what we're up to in this patch? But you can see here, Abbasid seem to almost have like a very solid victory on the water, at least in the early game against the Chinese. But by the same token, it looks like Lennox is thinking about going up to the next age here. So trying to throw a curveball the way of his opponent. Interestingly, not in the base of his opponent, but let's take a look at the movement speed stats. 1.88 movement speed here for the Dow versus 1.5 for Lennox. So definitely seems like Hut has got the advantage when it comes to maneuverability. And now Hut eyeing off some fishing boats. Looks like he's going to be able to begin burning through these fishing boats. You can see first one going to be going down, second one going to get taken out here as well. And where is Lennox? Lennox skating around the edge of the map here and trying to do a bit of a counter attack, it seems. As more Dows do begin coming out. He's got 6 Dows out at the moment. Now, you might be looking at these and being like, these are really hard to tell the difference between, and they are. I promise you they are. The way you tell the difference is the fishing nets. You can see some have got fishing nets on board. These guys are your fishing boats, whereas these guys over here, no fishing nets. That is, and as a result, they are not, they're not fishing ships. Now we see that plus 100 health coming in. I gotta be honest, when I'm watching this, I used to play an MMO. I don't know how many of you guys would have played this MMO. It was a pretty small MMO. It was called Arcade, and you like I spent all of my time out on the water in that game, and they just really reminded me of Arcades just then. It reminds me of the merchant schooner. But now Hutt looking to try and take his enemy by storm. You can see he's focusing down some of the fishing boats. One of them goes down, and now going to be turning his attention towards the junk. The junk going to be falling back. We see the castle age has now been reached for Leenock. That means we're going to have war junks coming out of these bad boys, and indeed we do. One war junk, 2 war junks coming out. But now we can see that Leenock going to be losing a lot of his junks out here. By the same token, when the war junks do come out, I would expect that we're going to see a role reversal here. Yeah, at this point in time, I mean, Hutt looking very, very strong. No blacksmith upgrades for either of these players yet, which is very interesting. So obviously neither of them really intent on committing to that second age play, and as a result, not investing in those blacksmith upgrades. They do affect your arrow ships, your archer ships. You can see both of these ships are classed as archer ships, but as soon as these war junks come out, you can expect the tides to turn, because they are going to be doing some damage. And now the war junks are out. They've got a little bit more damage, a little bit more armor. You can see it down there, but now they're going to begin fighting, and look at those attacks coming out. Isn't that beautiful? And yeah, they force those units back very, very quickly. And fishing boats now going to be coming back out. He's only got 2 fishing boats by the looks of... Actually, I take that back. 4 fishing boats? Yeah, 4 fishing boats at the moment. But we'll check in with Leenock. We'll see how he's doing as a junk comes out. Does a little bit of damage down here. He is now on stone. So this to me signifies he's thinking about a second town center. Don't think we're going to see a keep drop here. Largely, the majority of the battling would occur on the water, you would expect. But I got to say, I'm enjoying Boulder Bay a lot more now that we're not having Rus mirrors. Now that we're actually seeing good cool civilizations like China, like the Abbasid dynasty coming out. We're seeing these crazy kind of strategies, you know, semi-fast castle. And now war junks got to be careful. War junks might get caught out of position here. You can see they're struggling a little bit. They got to manage to make their way back. And now Hutt looking to focus down the junk instead of the war junks in this position. A bit of a curious decision to bypass and go for the archer ships. Oh, he's probably going... Okay, that to me signifies if he's going for demo ships because he picked off the junk. So let's take a look what he does. One... Backler? Wait, he's just going for Backler. Okay, interesting decision there. I'm not sure exactly why he went for that junk. Maybe he just realized he couldn't take out the war junks. They're a bit too healthy, I guess would be the case. But where are these Backlers coming in? Look at all the docks that Hutt has got. Oh my lord, he's the dock king right now. He has got docks absolutely everywhere. But now Backlers, they are a faster version of your standard your standard boat. This is the attack ship, so they're like the attack ship. They're a bit faster, but the thing is they don't have the range that the war junks have got. The war junks have got a range of 6.5, so extra bit of range there. But now we are about to see the Backlers beginning to come out. He's got 4 in queue at the moment. There's the first Backler, so it's only got a range of 5, but you can see it's trying to do damage. It's got the arrows in here as well, but look how fast it's dying, and at the same time beginning to try and isolate the rest of these war junks. He's kind of left himself a little bit thin here at this point in time, Leenock, and now Backler going to be managing to escape if he's not careful. You can see Leenock trying to... Oh, he's... yeah, hate to see it. Let's not watch. Let's not watch. Let's not watch. Oh my god. Oh, he's turned his attention towards the dock instead. It does go down. It does go down. So a little bit of a mistake there. Both players losing 1 attack ship each, but now Leenock regrouping in the middle, continuing to take out docks. At the same time behind this, we see that he is looking to add in that second town center. There it is. But a wall coming up, an aggressive wall coming up from Hutt in this situation. So looking to prevent any sort of onslaught on the front, it seems. But Backlers ideally want to be up here. Backler now coming in from behind as well. No demo ships coming out just yet, either from Hutt. And you'd kind of expect it when he's on the defensive like this. Only getting double broadaxe now from Hutt. So very curious display from him. But now at the same time, we see Leenock just looking very, very formidable on this water, dancing back and forth, making sure to use both sides of those. Wow, why is he so fast? Did you see that? He moved so quickly just then. I think it was just the way that it works. But now Backler's going to be trying to hold on. War Junk's going to be in a very difficult position here. But at the same time, you can see he is retreating with them. He's definitely got the advantage. Well, 1 War Junk going to go down, same time with the Backler going down, and now he's 2 against 1, 3 against 1, and it's not looking pretty right now for Hutt. I think he may have lost the water with this. War Junks being very, very strong. Interestingly, no demo ships, and now we finally do see demo ships coming out, but I can't help but think it might have been a little bit too late. This one going to be burning down 34 damage on, or 33 health on that. No second town center. Second town center finally now coming down for Hutt. But at the same time, Hutt is getting pushed on water. You can see he's moving forward with all the fishing ships. I think he's trying to distract his opponent with this, and he's probably hoping for a demo ship in the center of these bad boys. But even then, I'm not sure how much damage it's going to be able to do. You can see him firing off towards it. Does he turn his attention towards the fire explosive dow? Explosive dow coming out. You hate to see it. Yeah, you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Hutt, unfortunately, missing a little bit of a potential window there for himself. Still managing to get up all the walls over here. So has to give up water at this point. And so the question is, you know, from here, what does Leenock do? Well, you can see that Leenock is Leenooking. Oh my god, Drongo. Extended line is going to be the way he's playing it. So he's looking to really go heavy on the food economy. He has guaranteed himself complete control of the water at this point. Obviously, there's always the opportunity for Hutt to potentially get back out here onto the water. But Leenock got to be careful. Leenock got to be careful. Leenock doesn't have to be careful. Decides to leave that last dock. He's very happy with the way that it's gone. But I mean, even just by leaving this one dock here alive, it gives your enemy a window back onto the water. So it's very important to try and take that down. But now we can see he is going to be losing that Dow. The Dow does go down. And now going to be turning his attention finally towards that dock that is going to be burning down. But Hutt going to be going for a 3 town center boom behind this. And this is exactly what we talked about. You know, if you can buy yourself enough time, then maybe it's not all terrible. But you can see Hutt only sits at 54 villages at the moment at 15 minutes. If he was sitting on double that, if he'd gone for this if he'd gone like a second town center into Fast Castle, then I could have seen some potential. I mean, he didn't even really need to fight on the water in Castle Age. He obviously forced a lot of ships out of his enemy. But if he just tries to take control in the early game, you know, stop the fishing economy coming out from Leenock too heavily, and then forces a huge investment, then, yeah, I mean, then it's a different scenario, isn't it? But Leenock now continuing to expand. You can see he's only in the Tang dynasty at the moment, still yet to go into the Song. So the Song dynasty going to be helping out his villager production a lot. So we'll see how he looks to play it. He's on 79 villages at the moment. Maybe he doesn't even need to go into the Song dynasty. But rallying to wood, a lot of resources out here at the moment. He's going to continue adding in also more fishing boats, I suspect, as he is looking to get in drift nets as well. He is going absolutely ham, this Leenock is. That is a lot of carry capacity coming out for these bad boys. So you can see this one's up to 53. And this really starts to extend once these guys get out onto the middle of the map. You can see it's actually going up to 6. It's going to be going up to 70. Is there 70 food on a single fishing boat? Jeez, that is a lot of food. So basically what that means is you can come out here, gather 70 food, and then go back in. It's kind of incredible. It's kind of incredible. Springwood emplacements now coming up for both players on the new front, as you would expect. We've got Hutt that is actually going Imperial. Hutt, you are an absolute madman. Hutt going 3 TC Imperial behind this. Has lost all of his docks, lost all control of the water. But now he's going to be looking to fight it on land. So he's got a bit of a forward base up towards this position. So Hutt probably going to be hoping, I think he realizes that this is open. I mean, Leenock could just come through the backside here. Hopefully he realizes that he can just play up towards this position. If he can keep Leenock up here, he's going to be very happy. Because Leenock has an avenue to attack his enemy. You can see that there is plenty of water control out here, so if he makes a transport ship, he could easily get units over towards his enemy's base. So the question is whether that's going to happen or not. But now we do see more outposts coming down. Leenock actually looking to drop an outpost down behind his enemy lines. I don't know how successful that's going to be, as we do see more outposts being built on this front. But Leenock probably going to be thinking about Age 4 himself. You can see his economy is definitely heading towards it at this stage. Added in plenty of farms back here as well, keeping himself safe. He's got all the upgrades that you can imagine Leenock would have, because it is classic Leenock. Look at that, +2 mining, +2 lumber, +2 food. He's got wheelbarrow in, of course, but now heading to Imperial himself. So both players playing towards this Imperial meta. And the question is, you know, where do players go from here? Because we now begin to see the forward bases coming through. So not opting towards this position. And this is part of the thing that I was talking about is, so you basically, at this point in the game, right, Hutt is sitting here. He's on 77 villages. If he'd added in that second town center and third town center a little bit earlier, delayed his age up, and just focused like purely on his economy, he'd be in a marvelous spot right now. He'd be sitting on 130 vils compared to Leenock, who'd be sitting on 102. He'd probably be in a very similar spot, you know, maybe not up to Imperial just yet, but he'd be setting himself up for it very well. But now we see Camel Archers beginning to come out, so Hutt going heavily into Camel Archers. No farm actually being added in just yet for Hutt, so he's got a lot of farming economy to still add in. We'll take a look at his upgrades. He's got acid distillation out already. When it comes to his lumber, he does have level 2 lumber. Doesn't have fertilization just yet, but Leenock now reaching Imperial Age as well. So both of these guys up in the Imperial Age. And now the question is, where do we go from here? Because Leenock's got control of the water. And we take a look at the amount of fishing boats that he's got out there. Let's see if I can work it out. I see 14, I see 3. So 17 fishing boats in total. But keep in mind, I mean, by the same token, sure, that's a lot of fishing boats. But
you can get food from other sources. In the early game, fish is really good because it means like you don't have to go into farms because you take your berries, you take your deer, you take a boar if you need to, but then you've still got your fish that are supplementing that income. Whereas at this point in the game, you've kind of reached the point where farms are actually okay to go into. But still, he's still not even really farming. Just going for full upgrades. Look at the upgrades that are coming through on the House of Wisdom. Improved processing, agriculture, boot camp. Huge amount of upgrades coming through for him now. We're also seeing Steeled Arrow as well as Military Academy coming through. And he's looking to go absolutely ham with these Camel Archers. Also adding in double, that is correct, double Siege Workshop going for a Culverin as well. So really looking to try and take control of this game. We hear relics being picked up behind this as well. So just when you thought, like, I think this is what I kind of like about this situation, is that even though Leenock has won water, he's at an advantage, but he's not at a complete victory. Because a lot of the times, unfortunately with the map design for Age of Empires 4, and I've been critical of this before, and I will continue to be critical of this, every single map, water is in the middle of the map. And it makes it, like... So you have like a strategically important resource like water, but then you put it in a position where it's militaristically important as well. So it doesn't sit on the outside of the map. It sits in the middle of the map. So if you do not have water, then you can't pass the middle of the map. You know, whether it's Danube River, whether it's Confluence, if your enemy has got control of the water, you cannot do anything. And, you know, it is great to see that now we start to see Hutt evolving and saying, well, you can take control of the water because I'll just put a forward base up towards the corner and then I'll rally units in from that direction. I think that's super smart. But now Hutt going to be looking to try and take out this nest of bees. You can see it firing off the clock tower nest of bees. And now the Imperial Palace Guard's going to begin coming out as well. Hutt not going to be going for any crossbows, just going to be focusing on his own Camel Archers. He's getting the Elite Camel Archer upgrade as well. And now the Imam is returning back some of its relics. Still yet to take this sacred site. Probably could get a 2-for-1 right there. But yeah, outpost now. And we do see the breakout beginning to happen as it looks like, I don't know whether we've had a chop through here or I think he's just broken it down with a bombard. But now Hutt might be in a little bit of trouble because Leenock is sitting on 179 population and he means absolute business. So even though it looked like Leenock looked like he wasn't really that far ahead, all of a sudden, now you've got a massive population difference, 112 versus 184. A huge amount. Leenock going to be looking to drop down a forward keep, buy himself a bit of time. And now we've got the drop coming through. There it is. The war junk? Nope. How did those units get over there? How did he drop these units off? Surely he didn't run them around. There's the transport ship just there. So transport ship dropping off a couple of the units. And now Hutt's going to be in a very difficult position because Leenock is not only in his base. Hutt's going to have to transition to farms, which he's slowly doing. He's adding a keep in the base because he knows how important it is to keep this position safe. And he's losing a lot of camels on the front. You can see that the camel number's really not looking pretty right now for Hutt. He's managed to struggle significantly with his food economies. Meanwhile, you know, we've seen Leenock take control of the water and just use that food economy. So you still get that advantage of having all of that excess food. But by the same token, you don't have that excess, or it's not like it's super duper important to have that middle. Obviously, it's still super important, but now we do see the clock tower bombards coming out, trying to heal up this keep, trying to do as much as he can. Not going to be able to micro the Camel Archers. Camel Archers not yet even getting all their big upgrades. You can see he's only got +1 coming through at this point in time. And Hutt going to be looking to try and take control of this northern position. It is going to be denied. More Camel Archers coming out. You can hear them being created, but at the same time, you know, when you compare it to the Imperial Palace Guards or the Elite Palace Guards that are out here for Hutt, or for Leenock, it's going to be very tough. Now when it comes to Dynasty, still sitting in Tang Dynasty. Interesting. So it hasn't gone to the Yuan Dynasty yet. That would give him a nice speed buff, movement speed buff. Would enable him to begin chasing around all these enemy units. But you can see he is very intent. He's still yet to actually get any decent upgrades on these bad boys. Has he even dropped down a blacksmith just yet? I didn't even think he's dropped down a blacksmith. Oh, finally the blacksmiths are coming down. He's gone double blacksmith at the 23-minute mark. Leenock finally remembering, I can make a blacksmith, I can get upgrades. But to be honest, I mean, he's got elite palace guards here. To be fair, I think he did grab his university upgrade. Indeed, he did. Elite army tactics coming through for him. But now moving forward with the bombard, nest of bees, palace guard combination, and it is very potent, very difficult to deal with. And now at the same time, we can see that Hutt has decided to resort back towards his base. But the question is whether the food economy is too strong for his enemy to overcome. You can see that 103 villagers at the moment for Hutt. And yeah, he's definitely struggling to keep villager production up. Ideally, by this point in the game, he should be maxed out 130. But obviously, he did lose the water. He invested a lot of time in that at the beginning.
So now it means that he's going to be turning his attention to try and defend this, but I don't think there's any chance, and he does tap out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave a link in the description where you can go catch Hut, where you can go catch Leenock, and most importantly, where you can go catch Golden League. They're going to be live this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after that, the weekend after that. 15 GMT. Be there, be square.